Hi, I'm Bobby Mack. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to take a look at the 2016 City of Oaks Full Marathon course. I ran at NC State over the years, was a coach there as well, spent 10 years running the roads of Raleigh, probably logged about 20,000 miles in the 10-mile radius around campus. So I'm here today to give you some tips on the course, some course features, the hills to watch out for, and other course highlights along the way. Here we are at the start, right on Hillsborough Street at the NC State University bell tower. Keep in mind it is daylight savings, so if you forget that, you actually will show up an hour early. This is one of those daylight savings where you get that extra hour of sleep, so keep that in mind on race morning. So heading down Hillsborough Street here, this section has a early downhill in it. We're gonna go right and go big downhill to Western Boulevard. So this is very early in a race. You're at mile 1 here, so don't get greedy. Use this downhill just to find your form, but don't push the pace here because you want to save something in the tank for some uphills later. Got a relatively flat section along Western Boulevard here before you take a left up Boylan Avenue. As you work your way up Boylan, keep in mind at the top of the hill you're going to catch a great view off to the right of the Raleigh skyline here. As you work towards mile 3, you're going to navigate the heart of downtown Raleigh and take a tour through Martin Street, Fayetteville Street, Wilmington Street. Approaching mile 4, do a little loop around North Salisbury Street. There's going to be a water station here and restrooms. Keep in mind you do want to hydrate. For the full marathoners, you want to keep in mind you should hit pretty much every other water stop, or every water stop depending on how warm it is. Even if it's a sip, one sip at every water stop is better than trying to make up for it and hydrate a lot once you're 20 miles into the race. So back on Hillsborough Street, going to take a right down Glenwood. Check out Glenwood South here. Mainly a downhill section. Have a little hill at the top of Glenwood. Then you go back down to Washington Street. Alright, this is an important section at mile 6. Really want to check in with your pace. You've been running about 6 miles now, so you should really be finding your rhythm. Even though the course has been rolling, you should really start to hone in on that, that training pace, that goal marathon pace you had in mind. Right, so we're back onto Clark Avenue here, heading toward Cameron Village. This is a great spot to have friends and family park to cheer you on. They can enter Cameron Village from the Wade Avenue side, avoid any race closures. Also a great spot to be able to walk to the finish, just 3 or 4 blocks away from the finish line. Head back over to Cameron Village after you've finished the marathon or half marathon and catch brunch with family and friends. Alright, we're on Brooks Avenue now, a little bit rolling through Brooks Avenue as well. Work your way up to O'Berry Street, take a left on O'Berry. I lived here in college. Met my wife here, she was my neighbor. Alright, back on the Dixie Avenue. Dixie Trail. This is a false flat. It's actually a little bit more uphill than you think up Dixie, so just work through it, keep your rhythm, because you have a nice downhill once you get back on Clark here to the Meredith Greenway. A little out and back there on Faircloth. Go into Meredith, catch a view of the campus. See a nice track over to your right. Lots of the country's fastest mile times have been run on that track with the Sir Walter Mile recently. section of the course. You're going to cross under Glen Eden here, little switchback to your right. Short steep uphill, but that's fine. You've got a long downhill coming when you hit the greenway. When I think of the hills on the course, these are the two, that House Creek Hill and this one. They're going to be something you want to keep in mind on the way back. So when you approach this one on the way back, you'll be at about mile 21 or 20. So working your way to the bottom. Again, don't get too greedy with the downhills. Keep a nice rhythm. Don't pound your legs too hard on the downhills. You want to keep those legs somewhat fresh for the way back. Approaching the Crabtree section here, Crabtree Mall area. This is one of the exchange zones, so this is another good spot to have family and friends cheer you on. What's good about this spot is there's going to be some parking, and it's an out and back, so they'll get to see you twice as you go by. So this is the best section of the course to really start finding your target pace. Mile 14 to 15 was all downhill. 15 to 20 is entirely flat. So coming up on mile 16 and a half here, there is going to be a nutrition station. You'll go by this twice. You'll go by it at mile 16 and a half and at mile 19. So you should definitely take advantage of it once on the way out or on the way back, if not both times. You want to get ahead of that mile 20 area that runners call hitting the wall or bonking. So you definitely want to stay ahead of your nutrition before you get into that mile 20 section of the course. Heading out towards Shelley Lake, you're going to approach your turnaround point here, right about mile 18. Alright, so we're heading for home. We just did our U-turn. Great thing about this section of the course, it's flat, it's shady. Not going to be a lot of fans out here, but there's going to be runners coming at you that are still on the course. Great chance to encourage those coming at you as they encourage you as well. Again, I'm going to remind you, because it's so important, you're going to go back by the nutrition station at mile 19, grab some water, grab some fuel. You'll need it for those last 7 miles. Back out to the Crabtree Valley Mall area. Again, this is where you're going to tell your family and friends to park, so they'll be here cheering you on. Off the very flat 5-mile section here. All good things come to an end. We're going to start some of our hill climbs. Alright, this is the first of 2 big hills in your way to the finish line. You're going to work your way up back to Glen Eden here. Stay focused on your pace, keep your rhythm. Don't overexert yourself up this hill. You still have 6 miles to go. We'll save some of that energy for the finish. section of the greenway here. Start mentally preparing for that finish. I think this is a great part of the course to find a couple runners you've been running with, kind of key off each other for pace. If you're starting to feel strong, start looking ahead, reeling some runners in, say, I want to pass 8 runners between now and the finish line. Alright, so here it is, we're working our way towards mile 23. I think this is one of the toughest hill on the course. It's short, so just get up it. You run up it, jog up it, walk up it, whatever you do, get up this hill, don't look back. You're only 3 miles from the finish line. Finished off the greenway, back to Hillsborough Street. Quick U-turn on Hillsborough Street here. Let's head to the finish line. This is where your legs are tired, you're low on energy. You just kind of have to tap into all that hard work you put in. The long runs you put in, the 20-mile runs, 20-mile runs in August when it was hot, 20-mile runs in September when it was humid even, all that hard work. You can rely on that train to get you through these last mile and a half here to the finish line.